I keep hearing that a happy woman cannot be single by choice or child-free by choice. So today I'm sharing with you my very sad single and child-free life. I used to think that strength training is not for me. I cannot tolerate mediocrity. Hot chocolate coffee, my goodness. My goal for 2025 is to have slow, funless mornings, and creating a structure is one way of ensuring that I achieve this. I have been drinking warm cumin, coriander, and fennel seed tea while catching up with books I failed to complete in 2024. Basking in the warm morning sun for my vitamin D is a gratifying treat, and I hope that this year I will prioritize spending more time in nature and also reading more books, because this is an area that I have kind of neglected for quite some time now.
Regarde comment ils sont très calmes et très beaux. Les petits chats là-bas et un autre là. Et il vient vers moi, toujours vers moi. Pourquoi? Tu ne veux pas rester avec les autres? Tous les fleurs en plein blooming. C'est quoi blooming en français en fait? And the chicken looking for a little bit of food.
The children are screaming parachute, parachute. I have to look. I can actually see them. I'm literally becoming a child. They look so far away though, I don't think you can see them. Parachute season is here! So exciting! When we were younger, these Europeans would come with their parachutes and then they would land in the field that's just near my home, and then they would give us sausages. I woke up today morning listening to an episode from the In Power podcast, which is animated or hosted by Louise Aubéry. Clearly my brain is thinking in French still. And this particular episode was about a young woman who is a YouTuber, and she's now a sailor. She's also written books. She was talking about just following your instincts when it comes to your work, when it comes to your own life. This is something that I deeply resonated with, because 2 years ago I decided that I also wanted to just follow my own instinct when it comes to my own life. A lot of people tried to deter me because, oh my god, that is so risky. Oh my god, you're such a failure. When it comes to your own life, you're the only person that is actually qualified about your own life. No one has lived the way you live. No one has grown up in the environment you've grown in. Even most times your parents don't even know you because they have not lived the life that you've lived. They are not with you 24/7. So a lot of times they don't even know you, especially the parents who think that their job is just providing a roof over your head and providing for you financially, and they don't even care to know who you are as a person. They don't see you as a person, they just see you as this thing, this property that they can control, this property that brings them prestige and trophies. One thing that I've really learned is the power in really believing in yourself, trusting yourself, and living the life that you want. Is it easy? No. It's not. But if everything was easy, everyone would be doing it, no? A lot of people always think that they have a right to tell you what you should do with your own life. They're looking at their own lives and they're like, if it were me, I would not do that. So they think that if they could not do it, that other people should not do it, which I find to be absolutely ridiculous. I will never ever get tired of this view. I mean, just look at that. I've just completed doing the dishes, first of many house chores that I have to do during the day, and now between now and lunchtime it's the time to just work on my own stuff. And so today what I have in my planning, content planning for LinkedIn and Instagram. Oh la la. I don't even know what I was thinking when I decided that I want to grow multiple platforms at the same time, because you know what, those goals are not gonna achieve themselves. I have to put in time and effort. C'est un grand boulot, but I'm the one that decided I wanted this, so évidemment je dois faire beaucoup des efforts. So for LinkedIn, I've decided that I am going to be posting at least from Monday to Friday and sharing my creator lessons. On Instagram, I will be posting hair videos because I really want to get back to making my own hair fun. It has been such a long time since I abandoned my own hair. I mean, for good reason, because I had so much that I was dealing with in life, especially for the past 2 years. Now I just want to get back into the rhythm of enjoying having natural hair and just being creative. There's one thing I've learned: when you document things and when you're committed to documenting them, then it forces you to actually do those things. You know, the one thing that I really like about myself is just knowing that I do things. I have the capability of achieving my own goals because I know that I am committed to them, because I know that I'm not waiting for someone to tell me to do something. Once I put my mind to it, I am doing it. So I commented in my previous video thanking me for uploading the video even though it rained towards the end of the video. While I was filming that video, it started raining and I was just like, there's no way I'm pausing this. I have to finish, because I was almost finishing anyway. Completed it, edited it, then published it. Just glad that I've gotten to a point where I don't let things that I cannot control affect how I show up for myself. For me, showing up for myself and doing the things that I've committed myself to doing is more important than anything else. Whether I get results now or I don't, I really don't care, as long as I'm really keeping my own promises to myself. That is my biggest strength. It also makes it very hard for people to understand me, because the same high standards that I have for myself, I expect anyone that wants to be around me to be the same way. I don't like people who complain about things but they're not doing anything to actually try and change their lives. Same way that I've said in the previous video and many other videos, how when it comes to politics, a lot of Kenyans and many other nationalities, you know, always complaining, oh, our leaders are doing this, our leaders are doing that, but you're not even looking at how you're contributing to the systems and trying to change that. I just find it absolutely preposterous, and I just don't want those kinds of people around me. That's why I have very few people that I call friends. I cannot tolerate mediocrity. I feel like I'm allergic to it. One of the things that I really like about myself is how I never run out of ideas, because I'm always writing all the kinds of ideas I have, and now I just have a lot and I'm like, okay, what should I write? Electricity has just gone off while I was doing my content planning, and so now my workout comes early. I started doing strength training, I think, was it end of November? I started with 5 kg weights. It was 2.5. I feel like I've gotten used to it, but now I need to make it more challenging. I'm adding 1.25. It's gonna be like 7, so I'm gonna be lifting 7. It's already heavy. Am I really gonna be able to do this? Okay, yeah, this works. It's heavy enough to just make the workout challenging, but not enough to make it unbearable. And we don't want unbearable, because if it becomes unbearable, it means that I'm going to stop working out. I don't want to stop. I used to think that strength training is not for me. Once I got into it, it's so fun. It's really not fun when you're doing it. Of course, it's painful, but seeing how stronger I'm becoming, that is more fun. For the next month or 2, I'm going to be doing about 7.5 kgs here. That workout was not a joke. My goodness, I can feel the pain everywhere. I don't know how I'm going to be able to walk around. My goodness. I could totally use that as an excuse to not do anything for the rest of the day, but I can't do that while my body is recovering. Just take this time to revise some German phrases. Breakfast dash Frühstück. I have decided that this year I'm going to use a different strategy to learn German, because when I started, was it in 2023 December, I just went to YouTube, googled learn German, and then most of the videos were grammar. And then I also started using Duolingo, but I realized that with Duolingo I get so competitive and I end up doing those exercises just to hit the milestones instead of actually learning, and it didn't help me much. So now what I really want to do is to ensure that I am learning how to communicate like on a day-to-day basis. So just starting with my daily routine, things like breakfast, working out, things like that. I'm very hungry. Ich bin sehr hungrig. I remember that. I'm not very hungry. Ich bin nicht sehr hungrig. Ich bin nicht sehr hungrig. I'm so tired. Ich bin so traurig. Und ich bin am verhungern. Traurig is sad. It's not tired. What is tired? I need to find a German dictionary. What do you mean? Electricity isn't that? So Oh my god. The electricity has gone out again. Can't use the Wi-Fi. So now I don't even know what tired means in German. See, this is why I need hard copy German dictionary. Look at my beautiful pigtails. Do this qualify to be called pigtails? Having so much fun with my hair. This is the closest to hot chocolate I'm ever gonna be. Hot chocolate coffee, my goodness. Having this with mandazi. This is what dreams are made of. Ich möchte noch etwas. Die Kaffeeschokolade. This is how language learning is like, making a fool of yourself every single minute, but I like it. It's absolutely fun for me. It also helps me to learn more about the world. Another hobby of mine that really teaches me a lot is watching K-dramas. The current one that I'm watching is called A Virtuous Business. This is one of the funniest K-dramas I've ever watched. I really love it. What really makes it more special is the fact that this is a story about people, most are women, the protagonists are women. They're in that stage of marriage where your children are growing up. I find this so refreshing because we rarely see stories about women when they start getting into the mid-ages. These women have gotten into the adult products business because they need to make money for their children. There's one woman who is significantly younger, but she's a single mom, and this was in the late 1900s. It was really conservative. Being a single mom was frowned upon, let alone selling adult products and lingerie. I really like how this story has been written. I really suspect it has been written by a woman because it is multi-dimensional. It just shows all the aspects of getting into this type of business and the stigma that is associated with that and how it affects your relationships, how it affects your friendships. It really shows the realities of being in a marriage with someone for like 10-15 years, especially when you've never really been taught how to treat each other as human beings. That's one of the things that I find really fascinating in the world of today, is how people are just so quick to be like, oh, when are you getting into a relationship? You should get into a relationship, but no one is really asking you whether you're really ready to accommodate another human being. Do you even see yourself as a human being? It's so fantastically fascinating how people have just been brainwashed to think that to get into a relationship it's going to be perfect, and once they get into the relationship and they realize, oh, it's not perfect, it's actually a lot of work, you need to understand this other human being, they realize they've created their own prison, but they do not want to accept it, and they just pretend like everything is fine. You know, a lot of men have always been told that if you're in a marriage and you feel like it's not working out, you can just go out and find a mistress. But for women, what do you do? What do you do when you get bored in your own relationship? In today's day and age, I mean, women can also cheat and all that. But it also doesn't make sense for you to be cheating in a relationship because you feel like you cannot communicate with your partner. Of course, the major problem here is that a lot of people do not think that being in a relationship is work. The same work that it takes for you to understand yourself, to know what you like, to know what your dreams are. In a relationship, you have to apply that to the other person. You have to understand who they are, all the things that they've gone through have affected them, how those things influence the decisions that they make. Do you know how this person reacts when they are sad? Do you know how they handle grief? So for me, I really don't give myself the pressure of I didn't know being in a relationship, because I know exactly what goes into it. I mean, if you want a healthy relationship, that is, it's work. It's not necessarily like a job of going 9 to 5. It's spiritual work, it's emotional work, it's psychological work, and also physical work. It's like something that really consumes you, and that's why you find that a lot of people easily lose themselves when they get into this romantic relationships and even marriages, because yes, it can consume you. If you don't know who you are, it consumes you. You get preoccupied with things that don't matter, thinking that if you do, I don't know what and what is going to save your relationship. But the root of it is that you don't even know who you are. How can you ever feel fulfilled by another person when you can't even communicate the things that you like? You can't even communicate who you are to this person. How can they even create an environment for you to feel safe when you don't even feel safe with yourself? One of the things that I've been thinking about while watching this K-drama is the realization that when it comes to keeping things hot and spicy in a marriage or in a relationship, like the work has just been put on women. It's upon the woman to look for the lingerie, to be creative, find ways of making things feel new. The relationship is supposed to be worked on by two people. Most times when a man cheats, especially in African society, it's always like, oh, it's you're the wife or the girlfriend, it's your fault. You just don't know how to keep him. Honestly, when I listen to a lot of conversations that people have about romantic relationships, I'm just like, are you going to war? And all this talk about what do you bring to the table? I mean, are you starting a business? It's so funny how people use business terminology when they're speaking about the kind of romantic relationships they have. But at the same time, they get offended when someone says that marriage is a business. The moment you start asking someone, what do you bring to the table? That's a business. You want them to bring something and you're bringing something. That's a transaction. It's a business. You're thinking of it as a business, but you're expecting it to have passion, romance. You yourself, you don't even know what you're passionate about. You're not even romantic with yourself. But of course, there are people who think that romantic is the same as intimacy. These kinds of people who don't even know what relationships are all about, who think that they are the authority on trying to lecture you about relationships. Why don't you have a boyfriend? Why are you not married? Children are the best thing in the world, and yet you do not think that your child is a human being. Yeah, being in a relationship is the best thing in the world until you realize that your partner is a human being.